How's it going? Della. I'm the host of Black Hole Presents the People's Voice.
Nice.
This is a space that we created to give the citizens, not only of Perry County, Marion, but surrounding counties, to be able to come and voice their opinions about certain things going on in the community, solutions, problems, putting them on the table, and figuring out what we can do. So I would like to get you guys to introduce yourself.
Ladies first? Or
Della.
Della, you want to go
I'm
first?
Della from Maynor. I'm a local resident. Raised here in Marion, born in Gunnersville, Alabama.
Yep. My name is Laird Willis. I'm a resident here in Marion, Alabama. I was actually born in Selma, grew up on the Mississippi coast, Mississippi State graduate, mechanical engineering, Troy University MBA, yay, Trojans. We just can't seem to win a football game, but anyway, but that's okay. We still got high hopes, but yeah, just here to talk a little bit about the water issue and hopefully answer some questions.
And I'm Patsy, Pagan, and I moved here about almost 4 years ago.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you guys here. The floor is yours.
I'll go first. I saw one. Thank you, Dave, Ron. Thank you, Tilo, and thank you, Reggie, for having me here. I saw the invitation and said, yeah, I definitely want to speak up. The citizens of Marion deserve safe drinking water. They deserve safe drinking water 24/7, availability 24/7. And the last water outage, which was from November 20th to November 24th, that put people's lives in jeopardy. It was a major, major situation. They had to evacuate people from nursing homes to Demopolis. I think everybody read that. But for the people that couldn't leave, it puts your life in jeopardy. It puts your job in jeopardy. It puts your business in jeopardy. So this is a major issue where everyone needs to come together and discuss it. And we need transparency. We need somebody. It's a city of Marion's responsibility to take action and work it, and to stop blaming city councilmen. It's the executive branch responsibility to work this issue and take care of the citizens of Marion. So for me, that's why I'm here. It impacted me, but also I'm concerned about everybody else it impacted. You have to have water to survive, functioning water. You have to have a functioning sewer system. The city has to have that. Then segueing from that, I'm here, if you'd like, we can talk about some of the ADEM inspection reports. I understand the mayor inherited a difficult situation. He inherited it when he was first voted in 2016. That's when he was mayor, all right? Then he was reelected in 2020, right? Then he was reelected again this year, 2025. So he's been mayor for 9 years. I get in 2016 that, hey, he inherited a big problem. He's got to get his feet on the ground. But, you would think after 4 years, you would see improvement. I think that's a fair statement.
Fair enough.
That's a fair statement. Let's put it this way. Whenever I've had a job, right, whenever I've been employed, my employer came to me and hired me because he had a problem. Now, in the real world, non-government world, I'm not given 4 years to solve a problem. I'm lucky if I get a year, okay? But I understand government, there's bureaucracy, there's approvals, okay? So I can get it. Hey, I need 2 years to get my feet on the ground and get my hands around the problem. Then I need 2 years to get the funding. After that, you need to start executing and resolving problems, and you should see improvement. I think that's fair. So what I saw was when I went to the ADM website, and look, anybody listening, I'm on Facebook. My name is Laird Willis, and when you see my profile, you'll see my dog. He's a Mastiff mix, and you can DM me if you want help, like, with a website, like, hey, where do I go to get these public records? What I'm about to talk about is public record. If you want to get it for yourself and read it, I'll do what I can to send it to you. I'll give you the website. I'll even talk you through how to download it yourself. Anything to help, okay? So going to that, getting right to it, let's go to, I'm going to call it up. Just give me 1 minute. All right, so in 2020, there was, and I'm not going to read every detail, but I'm going to just say, there was 16 deficiencies documented, right? And I would say at that point, the mayor's still trying to get his hands around it, right? I think that's fair. But then in 2021, there was additional deficiencies, and what bothered me, and this is, the deficiencies were 25, and that's not counting the subsets in there, okay? And you're talking serious deficiencies, all right? Then at the same time, in 2022, I'm calling these up as I go. I want to go back one before I go to the 2022 one. Okay, so then also in 2021, what's a little bit disturbing, and I'm just going to read this one paragraph, okay, and this is not my opinion, this is coming from ADM, all right, the oversight, they're protecting, their job is to protect the people, the environment, okay, and what they said under management operation, they're saying based on the review of this system, there are multiple issues that the City of Marion Water and Sewer Board needs to address. This system does not appear to have the necessary technical, financial, and managerial capacity to properly maintain its facilities. That's a serious issue. So we're into 2021. The mayor's been mayor for 5 years. You would expect, I think it's fair to say, hey, I got my hands around the technical, financial, and managerial issues by now. But that's not the case, okay? Now again, that's ADM's typing that. That's their audit. That's not me, okay? Then we continue on. In 2022, there's 23 serious issues, deficiencies documented. Oh, thank you. I got it for some reason. Man, I'm freezing to death in here. I mean, it's like I'm like on Mount Everest or something in here. Yeah, y'all gonna. Actually, I brought my handkerchief. I wanted to look more official with a handkerchief. But man, oh man, let me tell you, if I pass out, it's because of hypothermia. All right, immediately throw a blanket on me and start warming me up. But don't use that because you'll set me on fire. Anyway, so 2022, 23 serious deficiencies. Okay, and I'm not going to count like the minor deficiencies, this and that. That's small stuff. I'm talking serious stuff that affects your life. Okay, contamination, improper drinking water. So that's 2022. 2023, there was I'm wrong. 37. So it got worse, right? From 2022 to 2023, 37 serious deficiencies. All right. So then going from 2023 to 2024, Man, I am sniffling. Y'all might have to remove my nose because it's frostbite. So going from 2023 to 2024, it looks like it got a little better, right? There was 9 deficiencies documented, okay? But unfortunately, going from 2024 to the most latest, which is November 7th, 2025, we're back into the 20 deficiencies, 20 serious deficiencies that, again, are affecting your life, okay? Improper maintenance, improper water treatment, okay? This is water that you're taking into your body, all right? It's not healthy for you, okay? Now, I'll give you a comparison. I'm doing this as a comparison, and I showed it to Patsy. You can go, and you can call this up on ADEM, but if you go to, for example, Watauga County's Water Authority, they had their inspection April of 2025. They had no significant deficiencies. They had no minor deficiencies. The only thing they had was a recommendation to verify and calibrate some testing equipment. That was it. So I mean, that's where you want to be. That's what I'm getting at. You want to be where you have no significant deficiencies, where you have no minor deficiencies. You might have like something you got to calibrate. That's it. That's the goal. That's where you want to be. All right. So continuing on. I think I might let Patsy take it over from here, but I mean, there's been a lot of conversation about a November 19 letter from ADEM, about some audits. Now, the thing is with that, that letter ended up being written by the director of ADEM to the mayor. And the reason why it came from the director, because they were behind and they already made several demands for those audits. You're not going to be able to get the money until those audits are complete. And they were already given some money, and Patsy knows more detail than I do, to do those audits, okay? So, recently, I think it was the December 1st council meeting, I think the mayor, in his agenda, was asking for more money for audits. And so what happened to the first block of money? You got to ask that. Then I think he was also asking for $100,000 for a pump repair, but then it changed to paying the bills. Now, if you're having to get a loan to pay your bills, you're in trouble. You're bankrupt. And not only that, they're not asking for a loan from a bank they normally use. They don't even have an account with it. It's a bank in Mississippi. Isn't that correct? Is Hope Bank or something?
I'm not sure what state it's in. I think it's in.
That's what I heard on December 1st. So, but still, if you got to get a loan to make payroll, if you have a business and you got to get a loan to make payroll, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble. How are you going to? In other words, the cycle progresses. You're going to pay interest. Okay. How are you going to get out of that cycle? That's the problem. I mean, people, the other thing is there's no transparency on interest. There's no transparency on the term, loan terms, meaning length of the loan. Is it 1 year, 5 years, 40 years? What is it? And we're citizens of Marion. Through taxes, we're responsible for that loan. The mayor manages it. The city clerk manages the payments, but we're the ones that pay it. It comes from us, right?
So what do you think is going on?
I have no clue. I would say that ADEM in their letter pretty much hit it, that there's the technical, the financial, and management is not there. It's not being properly managed. ADEM, made that statement in their letter.
Della,
And I think that I would say that it's likely accurate.
Della, from being a longtime resident, any thoughts on this?
I've had quite a bit of time to think about it simply because I'm in the middle of it. I can't actually say for a fact that I know anything about what's going on downtown. Now that I can't say. I'm not going to speculate what's going on and what's not going on. I don't have any of the details that you've done the work to search and find. And so I just have to go along with what I've seen so far, and some of the information that I'm getting is getting not through, your sources. Put it that way. But being a longtime resident, we talk about his length of service, and I have to reflect back to the fact that we're dealing with a system that's been here for 70 years or more, and it's broken. And we expect it to be resolved in 8 years. As soon as you fix one thing, something else breaks. It's just like in construction, for instance. You can have the best plans about how you're going to build this house. And over time, you get into building the house, something goes wrong. And what does that do? You have cost overruns. Now you've already set a budget, but because of that, you're going to have to figure out how you're going to get some more money to resolve your issues. And I think that's a large part of what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with an old system, which no matter how much money you pump into it, you're going to need more. You're going to need more and more. I ride around this town often, and they work over here and they fix a break. And then you come back next week, and on the next block there's another break. It's as if you fix one part of it, and then it puts so much pressure on the other part, which is old and outworn, until it pops it open.
It finds the next weak spot.
Yeah. So this is an ongoing, and let me tell you, it doesn't matter who we might have put in office. You were going to have the same issue.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Issue. So now what we have to do is try to find the solutions. And sometimes I think personal things and conversations and things that people don't know or don't have knowledge of, because you're not in there when those people have to work, and then you have to figure out how they're going to pay, or how they're going to pay for the jobs. Okay. So, but the main thing they need is funding, I would think.
I agree. I agree with that.
To be able to address some of the problems, but as I said, with this being such an old system, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be challenging, no matter who's in charge of trying to handle it. And I noticed you said something about, I guess the people who are doing the jobs or what have you. I'm not sure if they may need some expertise. I'm not sure if that's the case.
I think
if
people
they need some more qualified.
I think the people that were in the trenches during this last outage deserve credit. They had been busting their behind.
Yes.
You know, that was a difficult situation.
Yes.
Now, I think where the concern is the money's there, meaning it's not in the account, but the money would be available, but for whatever reason, and this is not the water system, for whatever, this is bookkeeping and keeping up, turning in the paperwork on time, the audits are behind.
Okay.
If the audits are done on time, they would get the money as needed on time.
And this is what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah. So I mean that's where we're at. You know, and I agree with you 100%. It's an old system. I see what you're saying. Hey, we fix this. The pressure finds the next weak spot, and you have a blowout.
Right.
Okay, and then what happens is you don't have the funding to really put the adequate fix in place.
Right.
You know, now some of my concerns, you know, because I've worked as a capital projects manager. What that is, you know, instead of maintenance, you develop a project, you get capital funding at the corporate level. Okay, I've done, you know, where I work now, I've done 2 $8.5 million projects. All right, and you got to go through several approvals, so I get it. All right, and I'm working with old systems, and I get that. But you always put a plan together. You know, what we use is what you call a 3-gate. It's front end loading. It's 3 gates of approval. Okay, and you develop your plan, you get your estimates, you submit it for approval. Then by the time it's approved, your plan is developed and you implement it.
Right.
And so unfortunately, what I'm not seeing when there's, you know, what I saw December 1st when the mayor said, hey, I need money for this, money for that, there wasn't a plan. There just wasn't.
Can I interject a couple of things
I'm
here?
sorry, I'm hogging all the time.
No, I just, based upon what...
I'm sorry, I'm hogging all the time.
No. With any, like I managed a $50 million piece of a project.
That's a big project.
And it takes a lot of communication and interaction. And we do have a terribly old water system. Yeah. But in order to see improvement, and we've seen it go down maybe instead of improvement, we have from what I understand, a really good engineering firm. We have ADM that's been very supportive and have said, okay, we've gone in and we see where there are areas that need improvement badly. Right. And we're identifying those for you. And here are some things that need to be done to fix it. Right. Here are some deadlines that need to be met. Right. And and I remember meeting with the mayor not long after I got here, and I said, Mayor, there's a lot of expertise. The city deals with a lot of expertise, but we have to work together and we have to communicate and be honest about some things. Mm-hmm. And my concern is, I don't know but like the letter that was sent on November the 7th, there was a requirement that a response be sent back to ADM by November the 21st. Right. Don't believe that was done. The letter that was sent on November the 19th said the audit had to be done by December the 22nd. Yeah. And in a council meeting, it was stated by a staff member at City Hall, yes, that audit will be done by the 22nd. It was asked again, will we be able to do the audit by the 22nd? Yes. And the response was given, we will do the audit by the 22nd. The auditing firm was contacted by council people, and the auditing firm was not even aware of the 22nd deadline. So there are with any project, you have to have some deadlines. Will you miss some of those deadlines? Absolutely. But you can't ignore them and not communicate about them. And the people that are integral, like the auditing firm, if they need to meet a 22nd deadline, they need to know that they need to meet a 22nd deadline. And, you know, ADM is trying to help us, and they have funds, from what I understand, available to give us, but they can't give us those until the audit's done. Well, then the mayor, I would think, as the executive, would say to staff, you know what, top priority right now is to get this audit done. Because if we get the audit done, no matter what the results are, if we get the audit done, we have money coming our way that we need to fix some of the water system with. Right. Yeah. And here's another concern. At the council meeting, when the request was made for $100,000, okay, you know what, if things are messed up, just tell me that. But don't give me an answer that says we need it to fix the water system. If you don't give me this money, we cannot fix the water system. But later in the meeting, it was said we need this money to pay the bills. ADM is getting ready to give us some money toward the water system if we can get the audit in. And then it came back again that it was, in fact, to pay bills. I looked at the check register. We are way behind on a lot of payments. A lot of vendors have cut us off. That didn't just happen in the last 30 days. that has happened over a period of time. So if we have a budget, the new council people coming in have, at this point in time, they've received no past budgets to look at. They've received no financials to look at. What they got was a check register of checks that need to go out this month. And I'm going to tell you 2 checks alone on that check register. One check was to Alabama Power for $90,000. Another check is to Alabama Power for $29,000. Those 2 alone more than eat up the $100,000. So if I know that every year my slow months for income and revenue are going to be October, November, December, I need to plan for that. The new council member said, you know what, let's look at the bank statement for the past month, because I don't know about you, but my personal finances, if I'm going to write a check, I want to know how much money I've got in the bank. And I want to know how much money too, not only how much do I have in the bank, but how many checks are outstanding.
Right.
There are times, pretty frequently, where checks are approved on the check register for the city of Marion, and months later, after that check was approved to be written, we have vendors calling saying, where's the check? So not only do the council members need to see what the last bank statement was, but how many outstanding checks are there, what's the total amount, and how many do we have now? Because if I'm a council member, I don't want to approve a $90,000 check to be written if it's going to bounce. And we also know at one of the council meetings recently, somebody came up for public comments who is with another agency and said that a check they had received bounced. So finances are, let me say this, I think we have a whole council, I think the mayor, but we have a group of people, if they will work together, even if we are in terrible shape, which I think we are, they will work together to say, then how do we, as a family, don't you get together and say, we need to address this collectively as a group.
Well, that's what needs to happen.
Absolutely.
What's the term I used the other day? It's we hear that a lot. Work together, work together, work together. But you've got to be able to sit down and actually talk to one another instead of talk at one another.
And not only talk to each other, but don't make commitments like, here's an example. I think the very first council meeting, council member number 3, Ann LaCroix, there was a vote to put her on the signature for the check accounts, okay?
Right.
Anything that you vote on or say you're going to do, you have to do something to make that happen.
Right.
And that her name has not yet been put on the checking account. Mm-hmm. She's gone down there. The bank says, until City Hall comes to us, we cannot put your name on it. So even the communication is important, but in addition to the communication, action has to be taken for things to happen.
That's the magic. Yeah.
The other thing is, to your point about work together. It's about respect for each other, all right?
Absolutely.
On that council, there's 2 new members, Stanley Kenny, and Miss Ann LaCroix. All right, and I've been to one council meeting, it was December 1st. But man, the way, and Stan called him out. It's like, man, you're coming across aggressive, or I might have watched the video, come across. I mean, it needs to be about respect, because they're hitting, they're being bombarded with a difficult situation. All right, and so it's the mayor's responsibility to bring them up to speed in a respectful manner instead of attacking them. I noticed that Laura Hinton, the mayor, Albert Turner, on social media is attacking those new council members. I mean, that's disgusting, okay? Instead of doing that, bring them up to speed. I mean, if you feel they're not responding in the correct manner, educate them. Take a minute.
Let me interject here. The things that were said about perhaps those new council members are causing us not to get the money to fix the system.
True.
That was not
false.
true. That was not true. So but let's wipe the slate clean. let's wipe the slate clean and everybody be honest. And the new council members, there's not been a budget presented of even the past budget. There have been no financials presented. The budget workshop that was supposed to be was canceled. They've asked for a bank statement just from the last one. The only thing they've received for finances, and they want to help.
Yeah.
You know, here are 2 pages of checks for $200,000. Approve them. So, but everybody has to have the correct information, not what I'm going by memory. I get things mixed up. I want to look at the piece of paper and say, this is exactly what we're dealing with.
Yeah, let's take
That's only right.
let's take a hypothetical. All right, Tilo, Reggie, Dave, Run, y'all the council. All right, I'm the mayor. I come to you and I say, hey, I need to get $100,000 loan. I need you to approve it right now. Would you have questions?
Absolutely.
So what kind of questions would you have? Just off the top of your head. Yep. They go, why? Okay, what else? You know, if you got a sign for me getting a loan, would you not want to know the interest rate, where I'm getting the loan, terms of payment, what's the impact, terms of payment? You know, in other words, loans ain't free, it ain't zero interest. They don't do it out of the kindness of their heart, you know.
Another question I would have is,
what's the bank? Do you know the bank? Have we done business with them before?
and I would also have the question, we're asking for $100,000 here, but I'm seeing a whole lot more expensive than $100,000. So what are we going to do to address all this other? Because we don't even know how much further we are in the hole. And that, you know what? It's not going to be a pretty sight, and we're, I think, a lot in the hole, but we can't deal with it until we know
what it is.
What it is.
What we're dealing with. And that's most important.
What do you guys think, like, what do you guys personally think the solution could be? Like,
I think transparency is one of the things at the top. Because, for whatever reason, like, you know, I thought we would be further than this, or we're not meeting deadlines or whatever. Before you can deal with it, we need the facts of everything. The council needs the facts of everything. And, you know, and two, there's some, I'm speaking personally, okay? Because of some interactions in the past where I was told things and those things did not happen, I got to see a whole lot of action taking place. And let me give you a couple of examples. In the mayoral forum, the mayor said, the moderator said something about transparency. Mm-hmm. And he said, we are very transparent. There's an open records law. And we have to abide by that in 3 to 5 business days to provide what is needed. Not only did I personally, but a number of other people have taken open records requests, and you know what, they're busy, not expecting 3 to 5 business days. Yeah. That's understandable. But you don't go months and months and months. And I've been up there several times, you know, is there a time when we can get it? Mm-hmm. And then, so don't lead the public to believe we're doing this and we're not doing any of it. Because that I want to support you. I want to believe you. But now I question everything that's said because I'm not getting honesty. Yeah. And you know what? And I'm okay to say, slate's clean, but you got to start being upfront with me and being honest with me, because I want this town to succeed. Whoever's in office, I want to support the mayor. I want to support City Hall. I want to support the council, but I'm also going to speak up when some things are blatantly wrong. Yeah. Not for the purpose of calling someone out, but for the purpose of, if we don't make some changes, will we be past the point of no return?
It ain't gonna get
and
better.
There's some good things. Let me say there's some good things that have come out of this too. And that is citizens who didn't know each other at all are coming together to say, what can we do? How can we help?
What's going on?
And in Marion, when I moved here, there did seem to be a racial divide. This is not a black or white issue.
It's an economic divide.
It's an economical issue. It's a citizens of Marion issue. There are so many good people here. So many good people here. Mm-hmm. And we want to see it improved, and we want to help. Let me bring up another example. There's a lot of expertise in this city. Mm-hmm. We've got engineers. I've managed $50 million pieces of programs before. We have a lot of expertise. We had a group of individuals with expertise that approached the city to say, we will work under you, we will do it voluntarily, we will do grunt work, we will help things get caught up. Because what we hear a lot is, it takes time, we can't do it, we don't have enough staff. So there were a number of volunteers with areas of expertise. And we were told no. Then I personally went up and said, I'd like to volunteer. The response came back, we don't have time to train. And I said, well, there are a couple of things that it wouldn't take any training on. You know what? I could write up the meeting minutes for you and give them to you, and then you can change them or whatever. No. They were at the time having interns during the summer. So I went up and said, I'll be a summer intern. I'll go, when the summer interns come up here, I'll be one of them. Do you know they never had summer interns again? Okay, I'm going to tell you what that makes me think, and I hope that's not the case, is do we not want some eyes in here looking at some things?
And they don't train the interns to do anything, I don't think. I've often said that. I mean, case example, Miss Christie, that used to be the, what do you call it?
The magistrate.
The magistrate.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder why they didn't train some of those young ladies in the office to take the position. I just don't understand that. And then I hear you say that the clerk is doing that job as well. That's just, to me, that's overload. If you're trying to be the clerk and handle the city's business, and then you're going to add another responsibility on that. I don't know.
Even if you're Superwoman or Superman, there's a limit to what you can.
There's a limit to
what you can do.
And if that was a position separate from the clerk, then that's what it should be now. You should have, when Chrissy decided she was going to retire, you should have. Matter of fact, you should have already been looking for a replacement before she retired.
Yeah.
So that when she left, the position would have been filled. And the reason for that is they can't even conduct business if you arrest somebody and that kind of thing. These are important things that you have to be able to do in order to conduct business with, in the proper manner.
Right.
So there is a lot, I think, that needs to happen in City Hall. Now, how we get there, I don't know.
Yeah. And I think we're all saying the same thing. There's so much that needs to be done, and there's so many people that want to help, but there are some basic things that just have to be done. We've got to put it on the table factually, not guessing, not saying one thing and then the other. Factually, this is where we are. This is how bad it is. Let's work together collectively. Even if you think a little differently than I think, that's good, because we might come up with some different solutions. But let's look at all of the real problems, and don't hide a lot of what's out there.
We need to know. The public needs to know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we will be better off for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to your point, an example, hospitals, what do? They have volunteers. People volunteer to work at the hospital. The city could do the same thing. That way, you have, to your point, you have people here that want to help, that have talent, have skill sets, and they're saying, hey, I'll volunteer just to help my city, because, there's people here who love their city. But also, like you were pointing out, there has to be some priorities set. Where I work at, each week there's different focus teams, okay? And also there's one of them called a SWAT team. I think that's hilarious. But anyway, but there's different focus teams, all right, for different priorities so I don't want to give too much away, but anyway, there's different focus teams on priority systems that have to work. And there's group members, right? And then each week we have to complete one important item at least, sometimes two. So the way you could get it together, it's a matrix. It's called a 4x4 matrix. Now, I think we call ours 2x2, but regardless. But you have to take that and you list, okay, this week I'm going to get this done. So that system will improve. And then if you don't get it done, you report back, hey, I didn't get it done, and this is why. You know, I was bleeding from the artery and I couldn't get it done. You know, something like that. You know, it has to be important, right? Why you didn't get it done.
With priorities too, the mayor says sometimes everything's a priority. Well, you know, for life itself, I got to have food, water, and oxygen, right? But I can go. One thing I got to have is oxygen.
Yeah.
I can go a lot longer without my food and water, but I got to have oxygen. So we have to prioritize
based on that.
And going back to the volunteers, look at our city website. Judson College. If you look at the website, Judson College that I live right across from is still going strong in one of the best liberal arts colleges. There are no students over there, and Judson College has been closed for 4 years. You've got volunteers that said, I'll update your website for you. But that's not allowed. And there was somebody that came for a city meeting recently with a major company and said, I want to see Judson College. You know, I read about it on your website, and I said, it's not open. But wouldn't you think when you're looking to find out information about a city that you would might go to the website? Right. Yeah. And two, there are laws that are not being adhered to. There is a law, Alabama League, states it in the mayor's manual, every 6 months, the mayor's to do a financial statement. Those are not in existence. That new council should have had the financial statements for the last year at least, the two. Here's the financial status of our city, but they don't exist. But there's a law that they do. There is a law that any citizen can go up to City Hall and meeting minutes and agendas are to be available for the citizens. Do you know how many times I've gone up there? They're not available and they will not be given.
They should be. So
those things, even if things were going smoothly, those things make any citizen question other things.
Puts doubt. Right.
You know, I had a staff of 300 people, and I went in to take over a project that was in trouble. It was in the state of Nevada. And they'd had people from all over the state fly in to test a system. And when I got there, the people from the state couldn't test anything because they had not signed them up, and it takes 2 days. So the state lost revenue, and they had to stay in hotels for 2 days. They twiddled their thumbs. They've got staff back in their offices having to take care of stuff. So something that seems minor, if you mess up the little stuff, I'm really concerned about the big stuff.
That's about what I was going to say. Is if you're failing on the stuff that we can see, what are you failing at that we don't see? You know, you start having doubt. You know, eliminate the doubt with the transparency. Start achieving. Hey, you want to see these records? Here they are. That's simple. That didn't cost you any money.
I'd rather hear it and it's in a mess.
That's simple stuff.
Right.
Than to not hear it at all and continue to try to operate and it's not working.
Just give me the truth. Yeah. You know what? But this is not. We're not good shape here. This is. We need to work on this. It's not good shape. But just be honest.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think to Dave Run's point, it's like, hey, what needs to be done? You know, in my opinion, I think it's going to have to be at a state level that steps in, and I think, you know, me personally, I plan on putting together a letter with all the evidence, and I plan on submitting it to the state attorney general's office. Then if they don't, the next step, if they don't do nothing, and I'm just saying this so everybody has the right to take the evidence that they have, and you can get it on ADEM, you can get notes. You have the right to file a complaint with the state attorney general's office. The state needs to start demanding compliance, okay? ADEM has been. So the next level, state attorney general's office. Then the next level is the EPA Region 4. Start writing them. You know, there has to, there has to be an enforcement. There has to be an enforcement agency to start getting this together. This city has to have water. You have to. You have to have sewer. You know, you have to have key infrastructures, you know, for this place to survive. Now, on the finances, Patsy knows way more about that than I do.
Even from a local level.
But for infrastructure, as an
people
engineer,
accountable.
you have to have that.
And from the local level, we have to start saying, you were not truthful with me. Give me the truth. Or you committed to me you would do this. Go to our council people. Go back to the mayor's office. And with the open records, I went up to the city hall several times. Got nothing. So the mayor was in his office. And I went in the mayor's office. The mayor was looking at his phone. And I said, Mayor, could I talk with you about something? And this is what happened. I got to go. And then a sign immediately went up outside of his office that said, by appointment only. You know what? And I'm okay to say, let's wipe the slate clean, but some things have to change. Because we do have a wonderful community. And I want the mayor to succeed, and I want city council to succeed, but we've got to start. We can't keep saying that's not happening and I can't get involved, because this is our town.
Yeah. Here's to, the mayor needs to be willing to answer people's questions. So on the agenda for the December 1st agenda, on there at the end there was, open discussion. He cut it off. Okay, that's misleading the public.
Well, I'm going to add something in there, and I am going to interrupt you on that. Public comments. The city council voted on November the 3rd. The city council voted to bring public comments back. It was a vote. It was approved. And the next two meetings, the mayor hit the gavel and did not allow city public comments. That's not okay when you have a council that votes to put it back on there.
Believe it or not, there's a state law on that, and when you do that, it's on the agenda, and you skip it. You write the state attorney general's office, because that's misleading the public. Also, it can be written up to the Secretary of State.
So our issue is not with personnel, it's with procedure.
It's procedure.
I think it's procedure.
But it's personnel also, because if the procedures are there and we don't follow the procedures, just like the laws that are written in the Alabama League, there are laws, there are procedures. Yeah. But if we ignore those and we don't do it, so it has to be not only the procedures. ADM has laid out, here are things that need to be fixed. Here's what needs to be done to fix it. But in addition to the procedures that are written, if we don't follow those procedures and we take no action on those procedures are of no value.
Also, you got to have, there's procedures on how you manage money, right? I'll give you a random example. Say you're approved to spend $10,000 on an AC repair, right? But then you go over there, instead of repairing it, you replace the whole thing for a $21,000 AC unit that wasn't approved. But the mayor said do it, or a city clerk said do it. Just random example. That's against the law. It has to be approved by the council. It can't be deemed an emergency, and even if it was an emergency, it still has to be approved ahead of time for those funds to be allocated.
I think that's what happened to the.
It did?
Let me go further with that. Some of the detail on that.
Something happened.
Well, I guess it wasn't a random example, was it?
It was that amount, that dollar amount has to be approved and go out for bid for that dollar amount. And the mayor said, there's an emergency and I can do it based upon it being an emergency, and spent $21,000 to replace the heating. That's not correct. To replace the heating system. So what was the emergency? And this is what was stated. Because if it gets really cold, that needs to be a place where citizens can go.
A warming center.
A warming center. But then the next year, when it got really cold, the mayor said people cannot go there. So that wasn't the reason. Again, I'm going back to, give me a reason to trust you, because some things have got to change for me to trust you.
But the funds weren't approved, okay? You know, you can't, the mayor can't, you know, spend funds or pledge funds that aren't approved. That even goes to the pump, you know.
You're right.
If you say, hey, it's an emergency, I got to send the pump out, you got to call your council members together real quick. If only 2 can show up, that's it. That's a quorum, you know. But you call them, you say, hey, I got to send this out, you know. You give an estimate, because you can get an estimate from the guy. Say, hey, it's going to be about this, y'all approve it. And you get it in a vote.
Let's go.
But you got to have the public there too. You got to say, hey, I got to have an emergency meeting.
Let's go to that. What happened
But you
with the water
can't pledge
system?
funds or spend funds without
what
approval.
happened?
There,
I thought
everybody
the
did get on the
100,000
phone.
was
All
to-
the council
to do
members
with
got on the
pump.
phone to say, we want to connect to the county immediately
Right.
to get our citizens water.
That's the quickest fix.
All the council was on the phone. All the
Yeah.
council was on the phone. This came out at the city council meeting. We're going to connect to the county if we have to go ahead, and we can do everything we need to do with the pump to get corrected, but we want to connect to the county to go ahead and get our citizens.
Water, yeah.
The mayor went to the people that were trying to connect to the county 3 times and said, stop. The county had the council had all voted to do whatever we can do to make that a priority right now while we're working on getting the water system repaired. They all voted on it. They were all on the phone. And then the mayor overrode, like, public comments. That's not as big a deal as you're trying to get water to your citizens.
Yeah.
So that's, you know what, that's not okay. That is not okay.
So kind of circling back to some quick fixes, right? The little bit that I know, you know, some of it hearing, but it makes sense. Listening to Stan Kenny, for example. You need that county crossover, the bypass, okay, for emergencies. Because right now, you don't have redundancy in the system. And I think the mayor even put that in a video. Oh, we don't have redundancy. Well, why not? Okay, so you need that county bypass. The other thing is, obviously, it's obvious because of, you know, the 4-day outage, you have to have an inventory, critical spares. And in ADEM, in that audit, that's one of the things they're asking. They're asking for, you know, a fiscal sustainability plan. And part of that is critical spares inventory. You have to have that. You know, when you know, minor stuff, hey, you know, yeah, you know, we're going to tag it, put a red tag on it, we'll get to it. But critical spares is going to be like your pump motor, okay? Your pump, okay? I mean, you have to have those in inventory. You know, if you don't necessarily have to keep it here. You can keep it at your, you know, your pump rebuild shop. You know, we do that. I mean, we don't keep everything on site. You say, hey, can you hold on to this pump for me?
Okay.
Can you hold on to this motor?
That's a fact check.
We do.
I don't know.
But I think
Get there. You got some deals for you guys.
when we upgrade, well, I was going to say when we upgrade a system, you know, bring it up, you know, to the new technology, right? One of the things we have to do is identify critical spares that we have to have in inventory. We sit down as a team and we identify it, and then we, you know, we have an inventory system, and it gets tagged and it gets a number, and then that way, if something goes down, they pull it out of inventory, then the inventory system automatically orders another one.
Right.
You know, it's set up. So really, one of the things that needs to happen is say, okay, for the water system, what are the critical spares that we have to function? Then the same would apply to the sewer system. What are the critical spares that we have to keep this working?
Okay.
It's going to cost money, but the way I understand it, reading the letters, ADEM will, hey, do the audit, they'll give you the money. They want you to have critical spares, want us to have critical spares. Makes sense?
The other thing is just informing
Yeah,
the
operation.
citizens, like the engineering firm that we work with. You know, what are the first 15 steps that are major that need to be taken? This
Good
is going to be
point.
a long process.
Priority.
Put them up on the website. Okay, these are the approximate dates that are associated. Here's some detail of the work that has to be done to get it, because citizens would understand that. Then we didn't, you know, for whatever reason, something else broke, we didn't meet these deadlines. Okay, just give us an update on what that is. But right now, the engineering firm told me that I could go to City Hall and get a copy of those project plans. That's what it calls a project plan. Guess what?
They don't have them.
They don't have them. So even if the news is not good,
What is the news?
What is the news? And what's reality? And this date we didn't meet. Here's why. So we've rescheduled this date. But keep people, not only just people, keep your council informed, because there's money coming in, and people are saying, "But what are you doing with that money?" You can't just throw them.
Your council people need to know
Because
what's
of
going
because of the lack
on. They really do.
because of the
They
lack
can't
of
make decisions.
Right.
because of the lack of
No
transparency, there's the appearance that something is being done that shouldn't be done, you know.
Right.
And
And to be-
so to
I
nip
would
that in
want-
the bud, the transparency is necessary. Like, hey,
It would shut off
Come to the floor.
all these other stories
You know,
about theft.
I would ask
You know.
I would ask
Because
my
that's all you hear
distinguished
now, you know.
I would ask my distinguished council members here, you know, and Facebook audience, hey, have you, for Marion, have you seen a plan? In other words,
No.
to Patsy's point, have you seen a plan?
We,
Do you-
That's been my biggest thing with our mayor. Lately, this is you starting to hear from him and see him. But in the last 8 years, I've often wondered why he never really speaks to the community,
Yeah.
on the regular, and lets the community know what's going on, where we are. That's been my big issue with our mayor over the past few years, not giving them not speaking to the body, not letting them know where we are.
And now, because of what I've experienced, not only
trying to let you get to my
speak
mic.
to us, but you gotta, what is it? Verify. What's that statement? I don't know what the statement is, but right now, because I'm not sure that I'm always getting the facts correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So, in addition to you speaking, I need to see.
I need to see some documentation.
Because I've not always been given the truth.
Yeah.
So you got to give me something to show me that it's true. And anybody's going to make some errors. Anybody is going to make some errors, but show me the facts.
Yeah.
Trust but verify. That's a statement.
I was just about to
Trust
say.
but verify.
I was just about to say where it's trust but verify. I was just about to, I knew where you were going. But and back to the plan, okay. That is, at this point right now, it is so important. It's important for this community to bring everybody together. It's like I said, if any of us seen a plan, I know I haven't. I don't think any of us here have. It's like, so now we're like, okay, when people are saying, when's the next water outage? Because we know we don't have a county bypass. We know we don't have the critical spares in inventory. And how long is the next water outage going to last? Okay, so there needs to be a plan, and even if you list the top 5, top 10 or 15, list them, and then from there it's like, okay, this is priority 1, right? Do we have the money to do that right now? If no, what are we? What's holding up the money? How do we get there?
And are we applying the money to what the plan says?
Right.
The other night we said we are in the hole. Like I just said, the $100,000 is not even going to cover the 2 bills for
Power.
Alabama Power. So, but then immediately we're going to put up Christmas lights. I love Christmas lights. You got people in the community that would give their own personal Christmas lights, but don't go spending thousands of dollars So if ADM gives us money, the other reason we need to see the plan, we need to see the dollar amounts associated with that plan, because I don't want it going to a $21,000 air conditioning system at the depot that's not going to be used when that $21,000 needed to go toward giving us water. So in addition to the plan, show me the money. Show me where the money is going, because it needs to go to the right things.
Give me the money.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Trust and verify and show me the money.
What was that movie? Something McGuire? Jerry Maguire. That was it. That was a good movie. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Show me the money. And he's screaming at him on the phone, show me the money.
I got one more question I want to ask. It's about us as citizens. What could us as citizens do, we as the citizens of Marion, do to make it a better community, a closer, tight-knit community? Growing up, we had, the community was involved in everything. We had the industrial park out there. I seen Leaving also, but I know Ms. Leroy from the baseball park and stuff like that. We had the National Guard where we would play basketball outside of the city, the council, the mayor. What could we do as a city?
It's an excellent question.
I think we need a central area for communication too,
Yeah.
whether it's the city website or another website. Okay, what are all the activities going on? Sometimes I'll hear about activities that happen, like the
Until they're
carnival,
done.
but I didn't know about it in time to
Yeah.
do something. So, you know, what y'all are doing is fabulous. You
Yeah,
know,
what
could we
y'all
have
are doing
a
is great.
centralized location where things that are happening or things that we want to have happen and come together, but are centralized too. So, like, I've been to City Hall, I can't even get a list of the holidays.
I think, I'm sorry.
So is there work that needs to be done? Yes, and that's an excellent question. And I think we could come together and brainstorm on how can we do that? Because it's a great question.
We've actually started here with the open conversation, and I don't think that there's enough of that goes on in the
I
community.
agree.
Look, we don't even know one another. Think about it.
If I knew you now, I'm sitting there.
Well, you know, I'm gonna tell you something. I have a reputation around town.
She don't.
It ain't
I'm just
always
kidding.
good. I mean, I've heard some things.
Well, I'm in the right spot then.
I've heard some things, but everybody knows my name. Now that I do know.
They do.
Oh, then you got a reputation.
And so, but I don't try to. I don't seek attention. Now I'm a quiet revolutionary, if you want to call me that.
That's cool. That's really
so
cool.
I try to keep my ears open and my eyes open as to what's going on, and I try to filter out a lot of stuff because a lot of people are saying things that they don't know.
Right.
That's
So
true.
I don't like
That's
to
true.
get on that bandwagon, and I definitely am not going to get on this bandwagon. Marriage is there's nothing going on here, and I'm going to leave, and it is what you make it, and my thing is this: if you're miserable here you're going to be miserable over there.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
so-
here's the sadness of it though, is, a major water outage like we just got through, it's going to drive people away. I mean, it's sad because I think, man, y'all gonna sound. I'll share some with y'all real personal, okay? And all right, so for whatever reason, I was attracted to Marion. Okay, I can't explain it. Actually, I think it was kind of spiritual. And so my wife asked me, what's the deal with Marion? And finally I said, I think Marion's my spirit city. And I said that. And then my wife said, that's the stupidest thing she ever heard. but it's true though. I mean, it really, it was like a spiritual belonging.
You can't buy into
I can't
the
explain it.
negative all the time.
Right.
I'm just refusing to buy into it, because I just know for a fact that out of this area came so many great things and
Yeah.
people.
Very true,
So
Della.
I'm believing that there's still a whole. It's like the diamonds. You got to dig to get them. Like they're not laying on the top.
Yeah.
The boulders are up there. taking up all the sunlight. You understand? But once you dig deep, you gonna find the jewels.
Yeah.
I agree with
We just
that.
have to find them and then let them shine. We killed so many spirits here. We just kill it with our negative attitudes and things like that. And once we get past the negative mindset and thinking and start to just thinking positive and speaking it, you got to speak these things into existence sometimes. And get
I agree with
together with people who think like you
Right.
and feel like you. Seek them out.
The other thing is, though, we can't ignore some things that we need to address.
Oh, of course.
Because we got to make it better. And when you
course.
said, there was something you said, it made me think, that people saying negative things, some of that is coming from because people are not being given information. So
Right.
give us information, give the people information so they deal with reality.
Exactly.
And I think people in this community would come together, would work, and I think people are coming together and they want to do what they can to make it better. And it goes back to the question that was asked, what can we do as citizens? I think that's a great question. And if we are allowed to do some things, we may or may not be allowed, but we can come together and do some things that really help.
We don't need that permission to do something good.
Yeah. But back to your point about the diamond analogy, I agree with you 100%. I think this city has so much potential.
It does.
It's got such a rich history, and if there were certain improvements, like for example, I'm just throwing it out there. I can't help but think this, but it's like, man, you could capitalize on tourism, for example. You know, I mean, you could kill it, and it's just for some reason that fruit that's right there isn't being picked.
Yeah.
It's like, man, it's such a fantastic history that just
Right.
goes back, what, almost 200 years? I mean, it's a blend of history. Okay, granted, not all pretty, but it is a history that people are actually interested in, that you could capitalize on,
Come here all the
and
time.
make this a gem. You know, not just the county seat, but this could be a real gem. I mean, gorgeous historic homes here. You had the military, you know, Marion Military Institute. I mean, it's crazy, and it's just why are we in decay? I don't understand it. I
And
just
we have
don't.
so much
I don't.
individual
I
talent.
can't wrap
too.
my mind around it.
I mean, I look at what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
Look
But
at
y'all doing
look
great.
at the talent that's in this room.
we should be making movies.
And there's so much individual talent
I mean,
too that
count me
people
in.
need to know
I was
about.
gonna say, count me in. But you know what y'all are doing right here, man. This is terrific. You're giving people here that live here a voice, okay, to say, hey, this is what we're experiencing, okay, and that's what needs to happen to kind of put an end to this. The only way to say it, misinformation.
That's
Okay, we need to stop fighting each other, because we all of us, regardless of whatever you believe, we all want and need safe drinking water. That's just fact. Okay, so we're all need to be on the team safe drinking water, right? That's our team, safe drinking water.
That's
Okay,
going to be a challenge.
you know, we might have some disagreement
Yeah.
on other stuff. That's cool. I mean, I don't get along with my brother. I disagree with him all the time. All right, that's just natural. But we can agree that we all want safe drinking water, right?
Now that is the fact.
Okay. So,
Yes,
actually, my brother drives me crazy, but
I hope he doesn't listen to this.
I don't care.
Closing remarks.
Oh, we being kicked off the air? What?
Thank y'all for doing
We
it.
were just getting started. What's wrong?
He's got warmed up, now he's cold no more. He's got-
Hey, Cole. No, my feet are frozen. I don't even feel them anymore.
I think this is part of the solution right here, open dialogue.
Yeah,
And
Absolutely.
we're more than open to facilitating it. If
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
we can have, we just sit down and talk.
We could have.
Figure it out.
Why don't we have some? I don't know, y'all could make it like, this is episode 1, we could have episode 2, Della, Patsy, and Laird in the middle.
And you know what?
Well, you know, instead of Malcolm in the middle, Laird in the middle. Anyway,
All things play itself.
I'm not trying to infringe on copyright, so.
How funny it is. She's got on her red, and I come in with my red. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, this was all planned. We didn't even.
Yep, it looks good.
We just fell together.
She's a diva too. Yeah, but we really enjoyed y'all and we appreciate y'all coming.
Oh, shoot.
It's an honor.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for the.
Honest opinions and, yeah, we'd like to have y'all back anytime y'all want to come back and feel like y'all have something to say.
I was going to say, you know, just on my closing, if it's okay, just again, Facebook, DM me. If I can help explain something to you, you know, as far as ADEM, you know, Attorney General's office, something like that, I'm happy to help because we really need to come together on this issue as a community.
Yes.
You know, just want to help.
We're going to share our phone number.
Yeah, we exchange phone numbers.
Okay.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank
Yep,
you.
yep.
We want to talk to you.
That one?
Yeah,
Heard you say some things we were interested in.
you got some knowledge.
She knows more.
I've been here almost 4 years, and I think I've only missed 3 city council meetings.
Yeah.
The ones when I'm out of town, I go in on Zoom. So I will tell you, like he said, something spiritual brought him here. I was actually looking for a historic home I could afford because home prices where I was from went up 40% in 6 months. Mm-hmm. But I truly believe this is where God led me, and I'm supposed to be here. And one of my passions is to be involved as a citizen politically, and I feel like I'm doing it because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. So.
Well, we're glad to have you. How about that?
Thank you, Della.
Well,
Thank you.
hey, if you had your official welcome to Marion yet?
No, not me. What is it?
It's on.
But I have always felt
So
welcome.
they got to turn the camera
Della, I
off?
have always felt welcome.
Turn the camera off.